first game's out of the way. Time to buckle down for the long season ahead, and we're off in week 2.
Coming out of the end zone, here's Dontrell Hilliard.
And he'll get to the 30-yard line before going out of bounds. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
A carry by Taylor to start the drive.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
He's going to get this one out to his fullback. And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down.
Now that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
They'll try and run for the first with Taylor.
And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive alive. Didn't get it by much, but bottom line got the first down. Avoiding that 3 and out, how vital is that on the first drive?
To me, it's like the first round of a boxing match. You know, it may not mean much right then and there, but you'd rather not lose it, right? So you want to go ahead and get it, kind of establish something early, and hope it can carry through.
On 1st down, Wilson. Looking right sideline, that's complete. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Their first possession of the game, and they're already going after double coverage.
That's a nice completion that can set the tone for things to come if they're able to keep finding ways to beat what the defense is throwing at them. They look like they're confident that they can get it done.
And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Here's Wilson.
They'll set up the screen to Taylor.
Oh, an absolutely filthy juke. He's got some space now. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. 25 yards that time. Now Wilson. This is caught. Touchdown, Colts.
Michael Pittman.
His first touchdown of the new season.
And the Colts will claim the early lead as they're on the board first here tonight.
Extra point right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. Now Hall to start the drive.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Looking to throw. Bonner. Looking left side, he's got it, complete.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
That one good for 37 yards.
Well, that's something that this defense is not going to be able to allow if they're going to have success here. They've got to be able to wrap up and get guys on the ground. They end up letting him get away, and it turns into a big play here early on. I can just see veteran observers of the game shaking their heads and talking about the dearth of tackling in the game today.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
The Jets had 0-1 on the year following the loss in the opener, and they were given a gift of 2 straight home games to start the campaign. Dropped one of them already. You have to figure a split of these two probably imperative.
And they did talk about that with us prior to the game, about how important it is to start the season 1-1, especially with 2 games at home. Because if you go 0-2, hard to make those up on the road as the season progresses. Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
On first down, Bonner. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. To throw again, Bonner. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4.
Well, this defense for the Colts, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
And that's not the half of it. They forced 7 turnovers in that game, and I know we always talk about turnovers coming in bunches once you force the first one. But 7? That seems almost impossible, but we watched it happen.
Seventh play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. Back to throw. Bonner. Wide open receiver, complete.
And he is going to have a Jets first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable 3rd down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the first down.
On 1st and 10, it's Hall.
And he'll take this one inside the 10, down to the 8. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Bonner looking for Cooper, and it's intercepted.
Picked up by Kenny Moore. And the Jets are going to get the football here at their own 23. A penalty accepted, and they move the ball forward.
So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10.
Running straight ahead, Taylor.
And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down. Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the 2 tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out the running game.
Off the play fake, here's Wilson. A gain of 32 that time. How about this first quarter for them throwing the football?
This defense has 0 answers for what they've seen so far with the ball in the air. I'm not sure how they're going to change things around, but offensively, I keep attacking. I keep throwing the football until they make me change.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. To throw is Wilson.
Back to the same target, Campbell.
And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. After 7-0 on EA Sports.
second with the lead, trying to get to 2-0. Here's 1st and 10. To the right side, this is Taylor. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. Well, you hate that defensively. They had him pretty well corralled, but the face mask, that obviously changes things.
Yeah, it's a bit frustrating because you feel like you did everything right. You had him stop, but the hand gets up just a little too high, and the natural inclination is to hold on, and that's going to get called every time.
Well, now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
On second down, it's Taylor.
And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Throw left side here, complete to Campbell. And he will get him down a couple yards shy of the first down marker. A nice tackle coming up from his free safety spot. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll be 4th down. And now the Colts call on their field goal unit here. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And his kick here is good.
So another scoring drive there, Charles, and an early 2-score lead.
You'd like the 6 there, partner, but you'll take the 3, and I think they have to be happy about the way they moved the ball in these first 2 drives. They have to feel good about their opportunities the rest of the game.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. They find themselves down 10-0 early after the interception on their opening drive led to a field goal.
So now they've got to pick up the mantle a little bit. You mentioned the team's down 10. They've helped contribute to that. How are they going to get their team back into this ball game? Run the offense that you think is going to be effective and execute it at a high level.
To throw on second down, Bonner. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. Looking to throw. Bonner. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he's going to come up a bit short. He needed to get to the 35 for the first, but he only makes it to the 34.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. They'll try and run for it. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down.
Paul ought to give up the middle and taken down just shy of the 40.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Off play action. Bonner. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it.
On the move past the 40.
And they'll get him to the ground. He has another first down at the Colts 33. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Throwing on first down. Bonner. And he'll be brought down by the Colts.
Kwity Paye getting in there and burying him behind the line.
There's a lot of discussion in the offseason about him having a big year and getting to the quarterback. They held him without a sack in week 1, but how about here? Finally gets his first one of the season.
In the offseason, said he changed his diet, leaner, feels so good this year. Excited to see what type of a season he can have.
Looking to throw on second down. Bonner.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up third down.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make third down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big third down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
And he comes back with one complete.
And they'll work this down inside the 30.
I don't know how many times, not just in my playing career, but you and I working together, have we ever heard a coach say, you know, I just don't have that play on my call sheet. And that's really what we had here. That was a big hole they were trying to get out of.
Yeah, big gain, still a ways to go, though. So from an offensive perspective, at least able to get on the board here right in front of the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, now it's time to talk about complementary football, isn't it? Because if the defense can force a 3 and out, there could be enough time on the clock that they can get the ball back for their offensive guys and maybe put some more points on the board before the half.
Hilliard now from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. Second down, another run with Taylor. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
Not a ton of room available on that one, but he made use of what space was available and gained decent yardage.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
Here's Wilson to throw. Open man is Taylor. He's got it. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. That one for Indianapolis, resulting in 15 yards and a fresh set of downs. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. And he fires one that's intercepted. Down. He was kind of shaking his head right after he threw that pass. What did you see?
Well, from a defense's perspective, anytime you have your eyes back towards the quarterback, you're in position to make a play on the ball, whether it's a big-time play by you or an overthrow by the quarterback. You have a much better opportunity.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Throwing to start the drive. Bonner. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end.
And they're going to move it down inside the 25.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
Eluding the pressure right. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a hole. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Mike 17. Mike 17. Check, 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 check. Check, check, check.
To throw on second down. Bonner. He's got the connection to Cooper.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. For the Colts, an extra defensive back in there now on third down. Back to throw. Bonner. Now they go screen. It's complete. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. It'll be from the right hash, and it'll be a 36-yarder. And his kick is good. And that will do it for this first half. So we come to halftime here with the visiting Colts taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The Jets going to get the football first, and they trail as well as we get back underway in this second half. Now this is going to be returned from the back line of the end zone. And ultimately he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. The New York offense taking over for their next possession.
Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well, and they've kept them around in this game. Now they got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
2nd and 15.
Looking to throw. Bonner. Looking for Cooper, and it's intercepted. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Colts TD.
Well, Charles, just some visibly frustrated players and coaches on that sideline right now because those halftime adjustments didn't work. The turnover problems continuing here in the second half, and the defense now sitting pretty comfortably as a result of that pick 6.
I think that's a great observation too, Brandon, because they did make adjustments at halftime. But how about this other group staying a step ahead despite whatever happened in that other locker room? No surprise they're leading, and it's appropriate that those defenders got to add to the lead directly.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
That'll give them 8 that time, and that'll bring up a second down in just a couple. Back to throw. Bonner. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
They'll run with Hall.
And some room to work. Weaving through traffic, and now he's free. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York.
Breece Hall, his first rushing touchdown on the year. And the Jets have cut it back within a score.
I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, you know, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They'd done a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, that got done.
Tough there. Good pass. Hit the hands. He just couldn't bring it in.
And every receiver's coach everywhere, seeing that play, focus, focus, focus. Watch it all the way in and tuck it away.
Hilliard now from his end zone. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. The Colts come to the line, ready to start their next drive. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive, in particular if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
He'll find a man over the middle. It's Pittman.
So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Throwing is Wilson. Now a leaping catch. He's got it. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 23 yards the pickup there. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10.
Up the middle, here's Taylor.
And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. Give him 22 there on the 3rd down conversion.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. They go play action now. Wilson. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep. Try and throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
On the counter, it's Taylor.
And a short gain down to about the 33. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
And an excellent job of finding the opening as he's got this now all the way down to the 22. 46 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up. And he's got his target. It's caught for a Colts touchdown. Paris Campbell, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And they are able to add on to their advantage. Extra point splits the uprights, and it gives his guys a 12-point advantage. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. A lot of time for this unit to game plan on the sideline after that drive that they watched the other side just score. But remember, last time they were out, they scored as well. We'll see if they can seize that momentum right back.
And they haven't had a lot of time to cool off from reaching the end zone the last time. So have they been able to keep themselves mentally sharp and into this game, even though they haven't been on the field? And you and I both know, one big play, though, gets them right back up to that level.
The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes.
Kwity Paye able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening. And keep in mind, in addition to the 2 sacks that he now has, CD, he's also had a couple of quarterback hurries. He's been very disruptive.
To put it mildly, and it reminds me of the time I asked an offensive tackle who struggled like this in a game. He said he was telling the coach, hey, what do you want me to do? This guy's just eating me alive. And the coach finally just looked at him and said, applaud.
That one good for 26 and a 1st down. Looking to throw. Bonner. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
It's been clear in this matchup which side has been the more physical one. It's been this defense. And here's another example on that last play.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. He's got his receiver, Cooper. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. Excellent play there on 3rd down. Give him 25 yards. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Bonner. And that one not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this third quarter of play. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. It's Jet football, but they trail here as we start the fourth quarter. The Jets on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be third and forever. And that is incomplete.
Back-to-back incompletions of what was once a nice drive. Stalled out here. I'm going to give credit to the secondary partner. Never gave up as they gave up a few yards, and they came through on that play to deny that pass and force the fourth down.
Now the Jets will call on the field goal unit here. He's going to need a little mustard on this one. It'll be a 51-yard attempt. And his kick is indeed good. And that lead is back down to 9 now. So he remains perfect, 3 for 3 in the field goal department.
And it's so important for any offense to have an ace like him up their sleeve, isn't it? Because now you know what his range is, and as soon as your offense gets there, you're pretty much counting on 3 points going up on the board.
Hilliard now from his end zone. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
On the handoff, this is Taylor. And only able to get 2 here, stopped at the 30.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box.
But the Jets pressure too much as down he goes.
The former 3rd overall pick, Quinnen Williams, there to bring him down.
The Colts send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Returnable here from the 38. It'll be a 39-yard punt, 4 on the return.
And the Jets will take over.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession.
Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner.
And some space here. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30.
117 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 down at the 31.
On first down, right back to Hall.
And he gets stopped up at the 31 after a gain of maybe a yard.
They went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Now, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
To throw on second down. Bonner. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they'll get him to the ground. He has another first down at the Colts' 12-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Straight ahead is Hall.
He'll get this down inside the 10 for a pickup of about 3.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Check 50, check 50. Kill.
7 yards on the pickup there. Now they've got it 1st and goal.
Some good, strong running right there. Some power and some explosiveness. Just about got him into the end zone.
They'll run with Hall.
Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal. So stuffed from the 2. Now what?
You know me pretty well. What do you think I want here?
Play action?
Definitely. Let him get outside and create. And if he has to run it, he has a little bit more space.
And he is not going to get in as the big bodies stop him at the 1. They're held again, and do we have a goal line stand brewing? It's 3rd and goal. This Colts D up to the challenge so far, but they need another stop here on 3rd and goal.
He'll try again.
And he's in. Touchdown, Jets. Punching it in from a yard away.
And the Jets have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. So the 2nd down run didn't work. They run it again on 3rd down and get in. I wasn't sure if they might pass it, Charles. We know that they like to mix it up down here around the goal line.
Yeah, almost felt like the offensive line said, forget mixing it up. Let's call our favorite running play over our best blockers, and let's get this one in.
Point after, right down the middle. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. The Jets kick team out now to boot this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. After the touchdown we just saw, we have a brand new ball game. And now look at the situation. You got plenty of time on the clock. Defensively, they have 3 timeouts. So do you run the football here or do you throw it?
I think you have that full conversation with your offensive unit, and you tell them, here's the situation. They've got all of their timeouts, so we are not going to play this conservatively. We've got to attack them. We've got to make them use those, gain the ground that we need in order to put this game away. If you think we're just going to run it 3 times and punt it, you got another thing coming.
Yeah, and by the way, also the 2-minute warning in play, so essentially 4 timeouts left.
They have to be aggressive here.
69 yards rushing here for Taylor. He's got a 1st down. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
First and 10, Taylor now.
And he'll take it across midfield down into Jet territory. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Well, they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
They'll run the toss here with Taylor.
And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain. He was close to flirting with that sideline, but able to stay in bounds like you know his coach wants him to do and keep that clock moving.
Isn't it funny that we're watching this play when we had that discussion just yesterday about this? What do you do in this scenario? What do you know, what's your mindset? It appeared to me that he'd totally forgotten that he needed to stay in bounds. And then the last second, oh no, I better get down. And he ended up doing the right thing. But at that point, maybe close to letting it slip away.
Throwing now is Wilson. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to at least make it a 5-point cushion. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. The Colts send out their punter as he'll kick it away for the second time. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game. But this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
On a huge mistake late, it's intercepted. And the Colts are going to take possession of the football. When you talk about making winning plays, that is a winning play at this stage of the game. To come up with that interception, huge.
I like how you identified that because most people think winning plays are the offense trying to get it done. In this case, nursing a lead, they found a way to make a play on that side of the ball and maybe finish things off.
Now a handoff, Taylor with it. And he'll get this down only to the 18. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Second down, another run with Taylor. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Now a second timeout called for by the defense as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
Now the defense will burn their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go in the game. So on fourth down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to at least make it a 5-point cushion. And his kick is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. This offense returning out there, and really, you remember the last drive, Charles, it was over before it even began. They threw the and that's intercepted yet again, and that could be the backbreaker. Picked up by Kenny Moore, and the Colts are going to take possession of the football. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
What a finish in this one, Charles. You know, this group, they come in, they have to fight a hostile atmosphere every snap. They get the late score, they get the victory, and that flight home, it's going to be a little sweeter after this one.
And Brandon, just like you, I was fired up for that last sequence. How about that? Wouldn't you have loved to have been in the huddle when they were mounting that game-winning drive? Big-time moment. No one shied away from it. They tuned out the crowd, kept their heads, and executed the way they needed to earn that win.
So for the Colts,
It was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they'll return home next week to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, for the Jets, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in Cincinnati against the Bengals. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.